Hi, my name is Ash Beatson and welcome to episode 5 where I'm comparing accounting software. So I'm looking at using Sage Online Accounting, Zoho, Free Agent, Xero, QuickBooks Online, and in today's episode I'm looking at putting supplier bills on, and I'm concentrating on just putting the bills on using the features that are within the browser version itself. So not looking at the mobile app, not looking at any add-ons or increase required on the subscription that I have set up for these companies, and that subscription being a sort of medium level subscription priced around £28 to £30 per month, excluding the VAT. So the first thing I'll be doing is looking at how those supplier bills are put on in Sage Online. So let's go and take a look at that now. Okay, so I'm logged into Sage. So the first thing I'm going to do is from here I've got the ability to create purchase invoices from the purchase menu, and you can do exactly the same thing actually from the create button. You've got the option there to create a purchase invoice too, which is our supplier bill. First thing I can do is select a supplier name, so I'll just select one that I have there in the list, put in the supplier bill, the invoice number, or date I should say, put in the due date, the supplier's invoice reference, our own internal reference if we need to put one in. I can either use an item here or I can code directly to the ledger account, so I'll just pop one in there, £500 or £5,000. You can add further notes if necessary, and you can also save this as a draft. I can add attachments too, and in fact I'll add one attachment here. I'll just choose to upload a file, and I've got a PDF that I can just attach there, so I'll just choose to save that, and I'm going to save, I'll just save this and leave it on the screen because that is going to should be saved in a draft status. Now I'm just going to, perhaps I might just need to refresh this screen a second so that I can see, there we go, there's the one I just added is currently there. It's in a draft. Now I'm just going to open that up, and from here, now I do want to see if I can just create a duplicate of that invoice from the draft. I don't think I can from here, so I'm just going to, let me just go back to purchase invoices and just go and create another one very quickly. And the reason why I want to do this is that if I've got multiple invoices that are currently in draft, can I, which is what I want to quickly test, is can I change the state of those in bulk? So let me just put that in there, because that was something I wanted to test earlier and I haven't done, but I thought I'll just give this a quick go, and I'll save this one in draft as well. So let me just choose to save that, and again I'll just do a little refresh here. So right, okay, cool. I've got my two supplier bills that I've just added. These are in the status of draft from within here. Now if I select both of those, yeah, because I do have some options that I can do in a bulk: print, email, CSV, copy, delete, but what I don't see is an option to change the status, so I'll just deselect one of those. I've got more, pay or allocate, so there isn't I can't change the status of those in bulk, which is something I think would be useful. And I don't think I've missed anything here. I'll just, again, no, that's just a credit note, but if I open up one of those that's in draft, then I can deselect the tick, and then I can save. And if I come back to my list of purchase invoices, that's no longer in draft, so I've just got the one left that's in draft. So from there, very simple to create a supplier bill, and you can start off with them in draft, and then other people could log in and change that status by clicking on opening it up. What I will do in another video is actually run, when I look at some of the different reports, is to see how that draft status affects some of the reports, and also when you open up some of these supplier bills. So as an example, if I open up that Drive Card Europe one there, you've got the option with the bill open, you can mark it as being in dispute. So now I can see on my list of purchase invoices that I have here, I keep calling them bills, that's in Sage they're called purchase invoices, so I'll automatically get it right really. I've got my purchase invoices which is shown there as being disputed. So very, very simple, putting on a supplier invoice. So we'll go and look at exactly the same process now in Zoho. Okay, so in Zoho now, I'll repeat that sort of same exercise really. I've got purchases where I can go to create my bills, and very much like I've just seen, I've got a shortcut create where I've also got the option there to add bills. So let me just open from there. I can select a vendor, which is a supplier, so I'll put in the supplier's name. I can put in a reference, and also I can put in my own order number, a bit of a theme there. I've got bill date, which so in Zoho they are called supplier bills, and I can add a due date, but we also do have terms in here as well which will automatically calculate your due date. I can put in here my sort of subject description, and I can choose again either to code it to a item that's already set up, or I can code it directly to a ledger account. So I'll just call telephone expense here, put in my rate. So I've got 1 unit of 500 within there. I can add additional lines on here. I can put some discount in there as well if necessary, and I've got the option there to attach a file, so I could attach the file from there and add some notes as well if necessary. And here I have the option to save as a draft. So in fact, let me go ahead and do the same thing. I'll save as a draft, and I'll also create another bill very quickly. So let's use another one this time, and let's leave that date in there, and I'll just put expenses, and let's put that to air travel, and put 350 in there, and let's save that one as a draft too. So now within my I've got a list of bills currently within here, and I can see that I've got those two which are in a draft, and let's see what options I have. Bulk update, let me just try that bulk update, and no, that's just asking me to change some references within there, so I don't want to do that. And can I just convert to open? Is that going to be just the single or both of them? So let's just try. I've got a feeling it's going to be just the one. And yeah, so it just did that one. And now if I select that particular one, I'll convert that one to open as well. So again, I can only adjust one at a time. So as expected, creating a supplier bill, again, pretty straightforward. With all of the different software apps I will be looking at the supplier information in a lot more detail, and also the reports that go with them. Now, within Zoho, when logged in as the browser, because I'm just concentrating on the browser area, there is within the menus this option Documents, where you can upload documents, and Zoho will start reading all the information, the OCR technology. I'm not going to look at that today in this, because that does require an additional subscription, because I did test it and it looked to work pretty well, because I had one for free within here. But if you're using that, it's an extra £8 per month for 50 documents, which maybe not be too bad. I haven't compared that pricing with some of the third-party apps. That's something I'll take a look at. But yeah, for now I'll park that there, and let's take a look at how we put our supplier bills on using Free Agent. Alright, so in Free Agent I'm going to select Bills, and then the top right here I can choose the option there to add a new bill. So I'll use a contact. Let's shift John Smith that's in here, and I'll just put expenses in there, my bill date and when it's due. Currency. And now what's interesting here is that my settings for Free Agent show not VAT registered, but I still do have VAT options. I'm going to choose the totals include VAT. There's also here this hire purchase. I'm going to probably come back and look at that in another video with regards to what exactly that does once I've got a better understanding on this hire purchase option. I'll just put the expense claim in there, and I'll just leave that with the category. If you've got multiple lines, then you can choose multiple lines. But I'm just going to choose it to one category here, and let's have 58.75 as the price, and I'm going to choose 20% as the VAT rate. Now again, what's interesting here is that I can select a VAT rate, and I just tested this a moment ago. So even though I am actually selecting VAT rates and saying the values are including VAT, because of the settings, the value will just show as gross in the profit and loss. Now, whether this will automatically net out if I change the VAT settings, that's something I will have to test when I turn on VAT, which is something I'll be doing in some later videos. So I'm interested to learn how that actually works a little bit later. We can attach this to a project, recurring options, and again I've got the option of attaching a file, so I can select, I'll choose the same PDF that I've been using. So I can attach a document and I can put some description within there. So I could choose to save and review. So there's no draft option, that is now saved. That's sort of ready to pay at a later time. And if I want to add another bill, I could go ahead and add another one within there. So again, pretty straightforward to add the supplier bill, and we'll look at the reports in a later video. There are some scanning options again with Free Agent, but that requires an additional subscription level, and that's something that again I'll look at in a different video. So in Xero now, I'll use the option, let's go to my little plus create, where I can choose to put on a bill, so a supplier's bill. I can put in my supplier, So I've got a few contacts in here, so let's just choose, let's choose Hiscox there, and I'll put in today's date and a due date, and again my supplier's bill reference. I've got an attachment option. I'm guessing that's an attachment, so I can upload from a file. So now I've got an attachment there. I can put in what my total bill is. Again, I can either use a item, so goods as an example, which has got the default units and prices, or I can code directly to the ledger account. And although I've split this out on this particular supplier bill using items and directly to the account category, you can do exactly the same on all of the software options. You've got so many lines, you can add further lines if necessary. You can assign to a customer or project if you're using that feature. Now you do have an approval process within Xero, which is pretty good. So I could actually save this without actually having it approved first. So I'll just choose, let me choose to save this, just leave it saved. So that's showing as sort of in draft, awaiting to be approved. You can actually submit it for approval. And in fact, what I'm going to do is, can I create a copy from here? Or can I actually open that bill up and create a copy from within here? Let me just choose. I think actually you can. There we go. I've got a copy option there. If I just choose to create another, I'll just duplicate this one. So now I have two waiting to be approved, or I can submit for approval. So if I actually select both of those, then I could either approve or I could submit for approval. So let me just choose to submit both of those. They were incomplete or contain errors. That one doesn't have a due date. I wonder if that's why. Let me just open that up. Let me just save that. Okay, let's give that a go now. Submit for approval. It's still not letting me put that one through, so let's just see if I can find out what's actually wrong with this bill. Is it because the totals don't agree? There we go. That makes sense. Let me try to submit that for approval now. Great. So now I've checked the bills, I've submitted them for approval, and now somebody else could be logged in that's waiting to approve them. They've checked them, so let's imagine I've checked both of those and now I can approve them. And now I've got 3 bills that are awaiting payment within there. So again, pretty straightforward, but I do quite like that's an additional flow, if you like, within that process of putting on the bill, moving it on to be approved, and then someone approving it. So yeah, that's nice. Let's have a look at what we've got in QuickBooks next. Okay, so in QuickBooks, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the new button and underneath suppliers select this option here to put on a supplier bill, and I'll select the supplier's name, which is going to be Town and Electrical. I'll put in here 30-day terms. I'll put on a bill 13th of July, so the due date's there, the supplier's bill number, description. Actually, just let me change that to light and heat, and I put electric bill in there, and 180, including the VAT. Again, we're not looking at VAT at all. I've not switched on VAT within the settings of this file. I can put in a memo note, I can add an attachment, so let me select that attachment, and that's pretty much my supplier bill created, so I can choose to save and close. So that's one way of doing it within QuickBooks. Now, included within the subscription on your QuickBooks file, so I could actually go to my expenses and go to bills from within here, where there is a little bit of a sort of a flow from within here, and you can see what I've actually done one already. I've actually uploaded a file when I was doing a bit of testing. Now I could choose to add a bill by using a direct upload. Where QuickBooks will start processing that data and extracting the information using OCR technology. And what it's done here, because I've already got one in here, it's detected that I've got a duplicate in there. But if I were to, in fact, let me delete the one that I've already got in. So if I were reviewing this, so by using the upload feature, I could choose to review that entry, and on the left of the screen we have the entry, and we can actually make that screen a little bit bigger by looking at that information. Just trying to change that, that's better. So I can look at the information, what's on the bill that's been uploaded. This is going on as a supplier bill. I can just double check the supplier name, that's not come through, but we can see it's detected the bill date, the due date, and the amount, and it's also going directly to light and heat, and the bill numbers come through as well. You can add some additional notes. You could split the bill if you wanted to put it against different categories too. So I'll choose to save and close that option. So that's my supplier bill created. So that feature there, that's included within the subscription. So that is a nice to have. Again, it's fairly basic, but it does the job in most instances. Now, in addition to that upload feature from within the bills area, you have got the mobile app, which I'm going to look at again in a separate video. But if I were to go to transactions and the receipts area, within the receipts you can upload from computer just in exactly the same way as I did from the bills area. You can also link to Google Drive, download a file and extract the data, and you can also set up email forwarding, so you can forward an email to a designated email address for your QuickBooks file, and again those files will appear for review where you can upload the information in exactly the same way that I've done in that supplier bill area. And again, that's all included within the subscription, which is pretty good really for most businesses. So as I expected, the way in which we put a supplier bill on is pretty much the same in all of the different bookkeeping packages. Some of them have some slightly different features. So in Xero we've got the ability of that approval process, and I think that's sort of coming out within QuickBooks Online, and you've sort of got it within the advanced one. But again, I'm just trying to look at a fairly medium level subscription. Within QuickBooks subscription you have the free document upload feature, which automatically scans your documents, reads it, which you can then review it, so that can save quite a bit of time. And we also had some draft options, draft bills available within your Sage and Zoho as well. So there were some different options in there. I will look at the supply area in a bit more detail within some different tutorials. So I'll be looking at what supplier information you can include, what supplier reports you can get out. So I'll put those, they're coming. Now what I'd like to do in the next one is start taking a look at some of our reports, starting with our basic profit and loss report. So episode 6 we'll be looking at your profit and loss report. Hopefully I want to look at it on a monthly basis and a quarterly basis, an annual basis, and some comparisons as well. So let's see how that works.